right, well, good evening and welcome everyone to our North American Leadership Academy this evening. My name is Laura Weeks and I have the privilege this evening of being your host. So if you haven't done so already, please let us know who you are and where you're calling in from. We love to see who's joining us on these training sessions that we do every week. And I see that we have folks from all around the country. In fact, the presenters tonight, I'm up in Washington State. We've got Isabel from Houston, Texas. We've got Rebel from California. And I know that we have people joining us from as far away as Nigeria. My, oh my, Nigeria. So let us know who you are and where you're calling in from or tuning in from. Well, this North American Leadership Academy is a training session that we do every single Thursday night primarily for our associates, so that we can all learn together, so that we can become more familiar with the product, so that we can get a little bit of leadership tips, so that we can hear from some of our other associates about their stories. But we also welcome you if you're just a guest listening in. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to just see what RAIN is all about. No pressure, no sales tactics, just a chance to see a little bit more about who we are. Who are these people around the world who have been introduced to and said yes to this opportunity or to these products? How do we do things? What are we all about? Just to see if this might be a fit for you to join us. So if you are tuning in, we also have translation in Spanish. You can find the globe at the bottom of the screen and you can join the Spanish translation. So that's what we have going on for us tonight. We're delighted you're here. And we like to start out these presentations with a spotlight on one of the products in our seed nutrition product line. You know, when I started with this company back in 2013, there was only one product. Imagine a company that would grow and be successful with just one single product that all by itself was changing lives. But now we have the good fortune of having a whole line of products, each of which is based on the concept of seed source nutrition, and each of which focuses on a different area of our functional health. Now, tonight we're going to focus on one of our newer products called Vive. Isabel's going to explain it to you in just a minute. But the reason we're focusing on that tonight is that for those of us in North America, RAIN has a special promotion going on. While supplies last, we have a buy two, get one free promotion. Now, these promotions don't come around that often, and so take advantage of buy two, get one free of our Vive Vitamin D product. I know I did that. As soon as I learned about it, I was online, and I think I bought 12. I paid for 8 and I got 4 free. So Vive is a wonderful product. We all need vitamin D, and Isabel, who is a nurse from Houston, Texas, is going to tell us all about Vive. So welcome, Isabel, and thank you for sharing your information about the product Vive.
Thank you, Laura. Let me share my screen. And I'm going to confess that I actually use my points to order it. But now that you're saying that you ordered 12, I'm going to order some more since I got the promotion free. So you're absolutely right. I don't know why I didn't think about that. So vitamin D as a pediatric nurse is something that is crucial in pediatrics because 50% of our population is probably low in vitamin D. So it's something that the pediatricians actually pay close attention whenever we're doing blood levels. And so it's something that we're always recommending. This is an important element for our total optimal wellness because from head to toe, vitamin D is crucial for our health. From promoting, helping our brain function a little better, promoting better mood. Of course, as you know, increasing our immunity. Flu season is coming. It will be, be here before you know it. So everybody knows vitamin D as being able to fight off infection and just have a healthy immune system. But it also helps with fatigue. It's going to help increase your energy. It's important for your skin. It's important for healthy blood. It's just so important. It's so important, as a matter of fact, that the body makes it on its own with the help of the sun. But we don't get enough sun, whether because where we live, either it's too hot, so we stay indoors, or where we live is not enough sun, or maybe because we're dark skinned like myself. For some reason or another, even though the body makes it, we don't have enough. And so such a crucial vitamin that we need it for optimal health, that of course we are going to get it from seeds, because seed source nutrition is 30 to 20% more potent than any other supplement out there, nutritional supplement out there. So I tested my, so like Laura said, we're talking about vitamin D. I don't know why I'm having that problem again that I had last time. Let me share my, and I tested it. I apologize, guys. I'm gonna have to do some investigating. Why do I lose my screen? Give me unstop sharing and start again. I might have to take Zoom off and then put it back on. Okay.
We can see the slide, Isabel.
Yeah, the problem is that I lose it. It goes away from me, so then I don't know what you're seeing. But here we go.
And you want to go back one, I think, or maybe not.
Yeah, I think we're good. So vitamin D, the ultimate vitamin. So research has shown, because there's several vitamin Ds, and you have to know that if you're going to take vitamin D because you're low in vitamin D, or because you want all the healthy effects that it gives you, it has to be vitamin D3. That is the most potent, the one that your body uses, gets the most out of it. And that's what we have with our vitamin D. One of the things that I love about all of our supplements that we have is that they work so well together. Rain knows how to put the right ingredients together so they can work synergistically to give us the most effect. So it's in our vitamin D. If you go get some from the store, you're just going to get vitamin D. But our vitamin D is also going to have vitamin E, tomato seed oil, and seed buckhorn oil. All of those are important because it's going to give you the strongest antioxidant properties to protect your cells. It's also going to give you the essential fatty acids that your skin needs, that your blood needs. And it's going to give you vitamin A, vitamin K, vitamin C, magnesium, can't say it, magnesium. You know what I'm saying? It won't come out. Sometimes my Spanish accent comes out. And so all of these are important for absorption of the bones, to help our mood. They just work so well together. So all of these ingredients work beautifully together. So like we know, it's going to help boost our immune system. Flu season is coming. I just can't say that enough. Start taking it now. And it's not a pill. It's a spray. What's wrong with the pill? Well, besides it being synthetic, when you take a pill, it's going to have to go through the digestive system. It's probably going to go from your stomach to your liver and not through your urine. It just, as the pill, it doesn't get to the bloodstream where it needs to. Ours is a spray. You spray it in the mouth and automatically gets absorbed into the blood, and you're just going to get the most benefit. So not only is it 30 to 20% more potent than any other supplement, you're actually probably going to get 99 to 100% of the nutrients that you're spraying into your mouth. So a unique system to increase the absorption. Aids the body in creating serotonin. And so, you know, one of my children, and towards the end of the winter, because it's just getting dark at 6 o'clock, and because she doesn't go out because it's so cold, she starts getting a little seasonal depression. And so here we go. Let's increase our serotonin to increase our mood. It's going to help fatigue and energy. A thunderstorm Saturday that we talked about athletes, how all of our important supplements that we have for athletes, or for those weekend warriors, we have to add vitamin C because it's going to help reduce fatigue and it's going to help boost that energy. in order for calcium to be absorbed into the bones, vitamin D is needed. And so if you're drinking your milk, if you're taking your calcium, you need to add vitamin D because it's going to give you stronger teeth, stronger bones, just it's going to make you just overall stronger. It increases overall wealth from your brain to your toes to make you those stronger bones. And so you need it. We definitely need it. Hidden in plain sight is a video that I want you to start thinking about as soon as we finish this call. Who am I going to send this to? Who already takes Bright that they need to add this to their repertoire to make, to help their brain? Who already takes our Pure? Who already takes something that they need to add vitamin D to it? And so the nice thing about Vitality, it talks about all of our products, that beautiful magazine that we have, but you need to also give them this little sheet with it because it's going to give them more information along with the pricing of how much it is. So start thinking about what resources do I have at my disposal to help my business grow faster, make it more duplicatable, and start sending out those resources. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for the opportunity, Laura.
Fabulous, Isabel. Thank you so much. One small thing I'd like to add to a fabulous presentation is that it is rare for a vitamin D product to be vegan. Most vitamin D that we buy in the marketplace, you may or may not know this, but most products are not vegan. Most of them are sourced from sheep lanolin or fish or something like that. Whereas the vitamin D in our Vive comes from a plant source, reindeer lichen. It grows in the northern latitudes, hence the name reindeer lichen, but it is a completely vegan product. So for those of you who are vegetarians or vegans, know that not only the Vive, but every single product in Rain's product line is vegan, thereby vegetarian, non-GMO, uncontaminated, completely clean, so that we're not adding any kind of extra burden to our bodies when we consume these products. So thank you, Isabel, so much for a wonderful presentation about Vive. The next thing that we're going to do is talk about the system that we use, kind of the concept behind the success system that we have here at Rain International. And I'm so pleased that Rebel Brown is here to share this with you because she is a very successful businesswoman, entrepreneur, has worked in the tech industry for decades, and she understands these concepts. She understands business, and she's going to explain to you more about this concept of leverage, which drives the business side of what we do here at Rain International. So welcome, Rebel. Thanks for being here this evening.
Thank you, Miss Laura. Great job, Miss Isabel. And I love Vive. It is like the best product ever. But you know what? From the first minute I looked at the technology of Rain and seed power, I knew it was the biotech innovation and nutrition we'd been waiting for. I mean, I just knew it. Our products are so strongly positioned for success, as is our technology that creates them, right? That's one of our superpowers, but there's also another superpower beyond the seeds. We call it leverage. Now, you know what? We use leverage all the time. We use leverage to help us change a tire on our car when it's flat, right? To help us do things we can't do the way we normally would do them. Leverage can also be a hat. When your ranch well pipe explodes and you have to wait 24 hours for the glue to dry before you can wash your hair, right? So there's all kinds of leverage. But generally, in business, the only people who get leverage are the people at the top, right? The people who you work for. Now, we're going to imagine a different kind of leverage, all right? We call it rain leverage, and I'm going to share some slides now to talk you through, because there are so many aspects to leverage. Everybody see the slides? Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so I want you to imagine your ultimate life, right? I want you to imagine what your perfect life would look like. You know, I thought I was living mine for decades. I had my own consulting business from when I was like 27 years old. I thought I ran my own life. You know what? The reality was I worked 80 hours a week, making wealthy people more money, and I did well, but I also gave up my life. The work and pleasing them became my priority, not myself. And you know what? I didn't even know it because we're all so programmed to do that. And then Randy called me one day, Randy Gage, who is one of our fearless leaders. And Rain and Randy showed me what my real ultimate lifestyle is. And that's what Rain empowers you to do, to define and live your best life. And isn't that what we're all here for, you guys? I mean, let's seriously. So let's dive into how Rain gives you that ultimate life with leverage. All right. So, first, come on, move. We're going to talk about social trends, which I think of as market trends. All right. One of the first things you learn in business is that really successful companies use market leverage. They build products and solutions where there's emerging and powerful market trends that actually fuel your success because they're creating demand for what you already are building, right? Rain is the absolute perfect storm when it comes to global market trends. And let's take a look at those. So, first of all, we see a movement towards social entrepreneurship, right? More and more people want to start their own business and not just to make money, they want to help people around the world, right? They want to help humanity. They want to help the planet. That's exactly what Rain's business model is designed to allow you to do. And it is a social entrepreneurship company in every way. Anyway, what? Helping people do better and have better nutrition? That is social entrepreneurship. Second is a healthy lifestyle. I mean, we are all realizing that our food, our toxins in the environment, the stress, the anxiety, our world is making us less healthy. And many of us are looking for alternatives. We're seeking a better way for nutrition, for life solutions. Welcome to Seeds and Rain, and it is amazing. Then there's the side gig economy. You know, Gen X, Y, and Z, they don't want to work 80 hours a week like we all did in the boomer age, right? And even boomers are looking for side gigs to make money and do it our own way. Now, many of us went off that merry-go-round of working, trading hours for money, and create our own lives. I did. But here's the thing I want to tell you about side gigs. Not all side gigs are leveraged. Okay. So just because it's a side gig doesn't mean it's leveraged. Take Uber and Lyft. You only get paid for how many rides you take, right? It is trading time for money. So those aren't leveraged. Rain is. All right. And we'll get more and more into how that happens. Then there's social media. I mean, whether you love it or you hate it, and by the way, I fluctuate daily, right? It's an easy way to reach out to so many people, to connect in ways you can't connect. Old friends, people you haven't talked to in forever in business, new people you want to meet. It's a perfect way to be able to reach out and offer the value of Rain. Now imagine being able to leverage all those trends to build your own business and live the way you want to. All right. Now let's talk about gig business for a minute. All right. So as a gig business, we rainmakers are in a perfect storm. And you're going to hear me talk about perfect storms all the time because you don't find very many perfect storms in business, believe me. All right. We get to take advantage of that market storm and we get to build a gig business that's the way we want it. Imagine you get to set your own hours. No more 9 to 5, no more sitting in traffic, honking, and all that stuff. You get to choose who you work with and get to like who you work with, which I don't know about you, but I've spent a lot of time working with people that I really didn't want to have anything to do with, but I had to, right? You don't have that at Rain. You have unlimited earning potential. There's no limits on what you can make. There's no top end of what you can work. It's not about how many hours you can work. It has nothing to do with that. Your imagination is the limit. All right. And finally, and I think this is probably the coolest thing, you get to be successful by helping others be successful, right? They get to give them their ultimate lifestyle, give them financial freedom, and my God, help them with their nutrition. I mean, does it get any better than that? Well, every time I say that, it does, Imagine you get rewards on top of your earnings. So things like you get to take trips all over the world to meet and greet our Rain family, to learn from each other, to celebrate with each other. And while you're traveling, somebody's working and you can work, because even on a plane, you can talk to somebody about Rain, right? So then there's the idea that, have you ever imagined that you could earn while you sleep? So imagine this. I want you to think about this. Instead of waking up at 2 a.m., thinking about the bills you have to pay, the project you didn't get done, the workload tomorrow, how you're going to get 5 kids to 20 different places in 2 hours, right? Imagine waking up and thinking about your team that's working for you right now, right? Jay in the UK is working when I'm not, right? That is amazing, because you're rainmaking 24/7 across 16 time zones. I don't know anybody that gets to do that. Then there's social entrepreneurship. And I know we talk about this a lot, but you know what? I spent decades sacrificing my life, to make other people wealthy. And I did it I thought it was my terms, it was their terms. Now, imagine my life with Rain. I get to help real people unleash their financial freedom, their best possible health, give them time to spend to do what they love, whether it's with their families, their kids, their dogs, their hobbies, or just sitting and being. And as a social entrepreneur, I get leverage, right? So now we've been talking about leverage a lot. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what leverage is beyond just what we've all talked about as amazing market and trends, etc. Look at these 4 people. Do you think that any of them make money based on how many hours they work? No. They all have that in common. And so do leverage is the ultimate superpower if you want to create wealth. These people all learn their money by leveraging others to grow their incomes, whether it's entertainment, book sales, product sales, whatever, right? Now, I'll tell you, and I tell this story a lot because I helped Steve Jobs a lot, and I helped build this little thing. I actually helped with the iPod, which was his first baby. But do you think that Steve took this to market and dominated the market by himself? No, he used leverage. He went out and found big companies that he could get to promote this and use this, and he leveraged to make this a market standard and to take the market by storm. He found people to leverage to grow his business. That is leverage, and you can do it too with Rain. All right. Now, here's something I learned. And, Randy talks a lot about epiphanies. Well, here was my epiphany, right? Even if you're working for yourself, you're dependent on trading hours for money. You aren't leveraged. The person you're working for is. Let me say that again. As a consultant working for these big guys, I was not leveraged, because even though I had, quote, freedom, I was trading my time for money. And by the way, I used to work 80, 90 hours a week on contracts that were for 40 hours a week. So I think that's called reverse leverage, right? So even me as a consultant can learn new tricks, and leverage is one of them. Now, let's look at how Rain gives you financial leverage, all right? Because I know that's what everybody's waiting for. So imagine you work 15 hours a week, all right, for Rain. You can only do so much in 15 hours, and you're going to make so much income from that amount of time, right? Now, imagine you bring on board 2 associates, and they start working 15 hours a week. Guess what? You now have 45 hours a week of effort that's contributing to your income. And guess what? Now imagine they each bring on 2. So now you have 7 people working for you, right? 7 people involved. And guess what? That's 105 hours of rainmaking focused into your revenue stream. It is so simple and it is so powerful. So, how do you build leverage? It's really simple. You recruit and hire your teams. They contribute time, and everyone earns more than they would doing anything else, right? By themselves. Now, they bring on their associates, they teach them, and you help. Everyone's hours expand, and everyone earns more, right? It's a very simple model. It's the perfect model for the perfect storm of rain. I keep saying it can't get any better, by the way. But here's another part of the financial model that still blows me away. It blows me away. I have probably looked at 300 comp plans in my life, and I have never seen in my life any company offer the way 9 ways to earn money. I want you to all imagine that one for a very long minute. 9 ways. That's unheard of. All right. So now I know this is kind of, a lot, but let's just talk about, I'm going to simplify it for you. The top row is really ways how you earn money on your individual performance, right? So you have customers, you earn money on them buying product. You have a fast start, which says if you get so many people involved in RAIN in a certain amount of time, you get a bonus. You get bonuses when you reach your first level and your second level, partner and senior partner, as you grow in your business, right? And that's all pretty much you. Then you move into the second row, and this is how earnings are shared across multiple people and different sources. So for example, the 2 pools, the exec pool and the diamond pool, as you grow in RAIN and you increase in the rankings, you qualify for these pools. And imagine this, RAIN is so generous that it takes 1% and 1.5% of its earnings and revenues, and it puts it into those pools for the people who helped make that money. Anybody see that in this day and age? Not anymore. You don't have that anymore. All right. So there's that. Then there's the team commissions. Now this is really cool because this means that you earn on your team's volume as well as your own. The better you lead and train and grow your team, the more y'all earn, right? And then there's my favorite. This is the generational matching bonus. Now, what the heck is that, right? So every person in RAIN is part of a generation. So I'm a generation. My team's a second generation. The people they bring on board are third generation. Get it? Well, with this bonus, once you reach a certain level in RAIN, which is not a difficult level to reach, you can earn up to 7 generations down. Let me say that again. 7 generations. You earn money on what they are selling to people. All right. So you can potentially go to hundreds of rainmakers and leverage that to come back to you to earn money. Where else can you do that, folks? I don't know any place, unless you own a big business and you got a bunch of people working for you, right? But you get to do it with fun and laughter, right? And joy in your own life. So that's leverage, but I want to give you my personal take because as Laura said, I was in high tech in Silicon Valley for 30 something years and working with the big dudes. And you know what? I loved it. I'm not going to say I didn't because I love tech. I love complex challenges and man, I had a blast. But I gave up my life and almost killed myself. I was so sick when Randy called me. And I'll tell you what, I didn't know if I was going to make it back. Today, I am absolutely thrilled to be a rainmaker for RAIN. The products changed my world, changed my world. I love the people in this company. They are the most giving, loving, caring, fun human beings I've ever worked with. The company cares and gives back. I mean, how does it get any better? Well, it does, because you know what? I surely do love having major leverage working for me, man. And you know what? I know you will too. Right, Laura?
I love it.
All
Thank
right,
you,
Laura.
Rebel.
Thank you, Laura.
Fabulous. Yes, yes. What a great presentation, Rebel. Thank you. So many things that you touched on. I too think the generation match bonus is my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason it's my favorite is because we earn that by helping other people
Exactly.
become successful. When we help other people earn that team commission, we get paid a percentage of what the company pays them. So it's not coming out of our associates' pockets, but the more successful we can help them to become, the more the company says, thank you, Rebel. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Anne, for helping other people become successful. We're going to reward you for helping them. And it is this incentive program to turn around and help others on our team become successful that drives really everything that happens in this business. So I love the way you presented it. I experienced the same thing as you about having a job that I love that's not leveraged. My husband and I, we run a holistic medical clinic. These products are transformative. We use them with our patients. We take them ourselves. I'm delighted that my 4 daughters take these products on their own initiative, right? You know, it makes a mom feel great when your kids are doing things to optimize their own health. And my kids are fortunate to be healthy. I want them to stay that way. But you know what? Our medical business is not leveraged because we're a solo practice office. And if we're not in the office, we're not earning. So having another income stream. So quite aside from replacing your income, everybody, I went to business school, everybody should have a multiple income streams. And all those wealthy people you talked about, they're diversified. You know, they have more than one income stream. And we should all have more than one income stream. If we had all had more than one income stream during COVID, it would have been a much better situation for all. So, you know, this opportunity provides a diversification, additional income stream along with everything else, and it creates more financial stability for many, many people. And that relationship of financial and physical health is a two-way street. They're intimately connected. So I love these things that you're talking about. The products are the foundation, the compensation plan, and the concept of leverage drives our success here at RAIN. So thank you very much for that. Now, one of the other things that we get to do during these leadership academies is hear from some different associates of ours and hear their stories, because, you know, it's motivating to hear what drives other people, where they were and where they've come to. And we are an international company doing business in more than 40 countries around the world. So tonight we're going to get to hear not only from someone who's in the United States, but from some people who are building RAIN businesses around the world. But the first one is wonderful. I love this because we're going to hear from John Acosta, who's the young son of Isabel. And I have a daughter who also builds a RAIN business. So when I see these families working together, it gives me a lot of joy. And it is particularly valuable to see a young person who understands early in their career about this concept of leverage and is setting himself up in a really powerful way. So we're going to hear now from John Acosta. Welcome, John.
Hello, everybody. My name is John Acosta. I am a college student working retail, and when you become an adult, you want just a little bit more freedom. Working for above minimum wage doesn't cut it. Still a few years away from my sports business degree, I found something I didn't know I was looking for: leverage. I'm now building a business with the goal of creating comfortable residual income that will help me create wealth. And I'm John Acosta, and I am Rain.
I love it.
One day in
Oh,
the
hold on a
summer
second.
of
Can you stop that for a second? I
2017,
want to
I was sitting
introduce
in my
Gerd.
kitchen like this. Oh my.
That's okay. Okay, Gerd, so one of the things I love, this is Gerd. She's out of Norway. And Gerd is, I think she's in her 80s now. And so we have people who are just beginning their careers. We have people who had successful careers and were retired when they were introduced to this company, RAIN International. Gerd this is a recording because it's the middle of the night for Gerd right now. But Gerd has a fabulous story. She was a model in her youth. And she was introduced to RAIN. I've had the pleasure of meeting her many, many times. And she is a true inspiration. She has built large teams in Norway and across Europe because she is enthusiastic about sharing the products in this system to others. And she too works with her daughter. So a lot of families in RAIN. But let's hear from Gerd. Listen carefully. She's wonderful.
One day in the summer of 2017, I was sitting in my kitchen like this. Oh my God, what should I do? I had lost all my savings because of stupid things, investment, and now I was sitting there with bills I couldn't pay. So I understand I have to do something. I must have a job. I must do something to earn this money I need. Then the telephone rang. I answered. This was my friend, Anne Berit, called me and asked me, have you heard about the rain? Rain, what's that? She told me. And I was curious. And yeah, why not try it? I started, and that is the smartest thing I've done in my whole life. So now it has passed 7 years. I'm earning more and more for each year, and now I am earning the double of a normal income, a yearly income. And I'm so happy with it. I got a lot of new friends. I can travel all over the world, meeting people, and this is a new life for me. I'm so happy. Thank you to the destiny that called me. I am Gerd Ordal. I'm 80 years, and I am Rain.
Fabulous.
Hello.
Okay, so this is yet another one of our international RAIN associates. His name is Stoll. And again, this is a recording because it's the middle of the night where he's coming from. But I want to underline the fact that even though this is a North American Leadership Academy, we are a global business. And this is a company that is thriving in all corners of the world. Even if you're just getting started, you can and you will inevitably build an international business, not necessarily because you know somebody in Norway or Bulgaria or Turkey or Nigeria, but because you know somebody who's going to know somebody who's going to know somebody over there who's going to be interested in seed-sourced nutrition. And so let's hear from Stoll now and his story with RAIN. Thanks very much.
Rain Nation, my name is Topol Hute from Bulgaria. 15 years ago, I dreamed of building a business that I would leave to my children and in which I had already invested over $1 million. What a shock it was when my older children told me, Dad, we are not going to continue your business. And then I realized that they didn't want to my life. Work, 12, 13 hours a day, 7 days a week, and not having time for family, for your favorite activities, for anything. And soon after that, I discovered that there is a way to live an ultimate lifestyle with enough money, with enough time, without being a slave to work or business. And this way is called network marketing, because of the leverage concept embedded in it, the superpower for building wealth. Today, 15 years later, I discovered RAIN International and I'm dreaming again. And this time, my children say, come on, Dad, come on, we really like this way of life. Where are you going to take us to some exotic place next year? I'm Stolpol Hutev and I'm proud to be RAIN.
Fabulous. All right. So again, we all come to RAIN in different ways. I think what we all have in common is that someone, once upon a time, somewhere along the way, went out of their way to bother to introduce us to this idea of RAIN International, to this company, RAIN International, to this income opportunity, to these transformational products. And each and every one of us, either for the first time or after somebody asked us a couple of times, decided to take a look and do our due diligence and eventually decided to take that step and join this company. And those of us who are here are delighted that we did. Now, I'll just say this. The next big event that this company is going to have is in September. It's not that far away, early September. It's going to be in Istanbul, Turkey. And again, you may not know anybody in Turkey, but you might be able to know somebody or find somebody who knows somebody who's in Turkey. You might be able to get some business started by inviting people to go to Turkey, by getting yourself to Turkey. Imagine the benefits of being able to travel for work and all the tax-deductible expenses of travel when you're building your business, the opportunity to meet new people, the opportunity to build community. So focus on the Ascend event, which is going to happen in Turkey, and you will be glad if you do. So those are our testimonials for this evening. And now is the portion of the presentation where we do, someone does some sort of a little leadership training, sharing some of our experiences about having built this business or some thoughts. And I'm going to be doing that this evening as well. So here we go, and bear with me. I had a totally different topic prepared to speak about tonight. I get a little bit bored sometimes about saying some of the same things over and over again. So I've decided to pivot and talk about something a little bit different instead. So please bear with me. The topic that I'm going to talk about tonight is what I think of as kind of an over-the-top strategy, additional strategy for how we can succeed in this ultra competitive business environment. So this came about, my thoughts about this came about yesterday, because as Rebel was saying, life happens. Sometimes things kind of get in our way. And she lost her water. Yesterday, we lost our power. We live on an island, as some of you may know, in the middle of the Puget Sound, off the coast of Seattle, Washington. And just parenthetically, I'll say, we have a very small population of people who live on this island here. But the good news is about this kind of business is that you can build from anywhere in the world. And so I live on this small island, and yet my rain business is all over the world because of the tools, because of the technology, and because of the demand for seed-based nutrition. But we lost our power yesterday because a neighbor of ours who loves trees has refused to cut down a tree that has power lines running right through it. So the power lines were banging against her trees, and the wires eventually frayed, and eventually one snapped, and we were without power. So what do you do when you have no power, when your internet is not working, when you have already spent a couple of hours out in the garden that day? I decided to sit down and read an old-fashioned book. And that inspired this conversation today. And the book I picked up happened to be given to me by my daughter, Anastasia, who many of you know. She is one of my 4 daughters who is also focused on building a rain business. She works in the hospitality industry professionally, and she had given me a book that she thought I would be interested in reading. So we'll get to the specifics about that in a minute, but I just want to set the stage a little bit. By going back to some of the things we've already talked about with respect to our products and our system, the tools, the system, the concept of leverage. One of the reasons that anyone, truly anyone who is motivated and willing to be coachable and willing to be committed and do the work, anybody can build a successful rain business is precisely because of the duplicatable system and the tools and the products that we have. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. That is fabulous. Whether you have ever owned a business before, never owned a business before, you have owned a business before in this industry or elsewhere, whether you're like John, just starting out in your professional career, or Gerd, who, was retired and found herself without enough money, whether you're midstream in your career, whether, whatever your circumstances are, you can follow the RAIN system, and you can use the tools that have been put in place for us all. You can be in any one of the markets where RAIN is doing business, and you can be successful if you follow the new associate orientation system that we have. It gives us a step-by-step system for how to build this business. And we have tools like Isabel was saying, the hidden in plain sight video, the specific product videos, the product information sheets, Vitality magazine. So we don't have to be experts in nutrition or graphic designers for that matter to make those beautiful materials. We don't have to be website designers to be able to have a website where we can have a marketing website and a website to manage our businesses. We have videos that we can send out to people, the Check It Out video, Seeds of Prosperity, to introduce people to our system. And we have Rainmaker University modules, which is wonderful training that Randy Gage, who Rebel mentioned, and Ann Feinstein, who's here with us tonight, they put out every single month. There are now 21 of those. I suggest you check them all out. Trainings like these on Thursdays and Saturdays. We have so many tools to help us build a successful business. You get the message. I absolutely encourage you to check out all of these resources that are available to you. Study them, actually use them, and perhaps most importantly, teach your team to study these tools and to use these tools. Since we know this is, in many ways, fundamentally a business of duplication. And as we have heard over and over, as Paul Langeman, I think, has taught us in his many trainings, monkey see, monkey do. This is definitely a business of duplication. So we want to use the tools and we want to use the information that's been made available to us. But having said all that, I think often about how this is an extremely competitive environment that we are building our businesses in. You know, there are thousands of companies in the United States that are marketing nutritional supplements, and each and every one of them is trying to tell us that theirs are the best in the world. You should take our nutritional supplements. I happen to believe, having worked in this field for 30 plus years, that our products are truly transformational and foundational, and that there's nothing else out there like seed-based nutrition. But you know what? Everybody's trying to tell you that theirs is the best. And so this is a competitive environment. There are hundreds of network marketing companies and direct selling companies out in the world that are telling you that they have the best compensation plan. I suggest that you look carefully. I, like Rebel, have analyzed many compensation plans, and I am confident that RAIN has one that is generous and lucrative and fair and rewards the right kind of behavior, like what I was saying a little while ago about being incentivized to turn around and help others, so that it's not only the people at the top who make all the money. So I believe that we do have all of these foundational things. But aside from those, what is another competitive edge that we have? And in this company, we don't really compete on price, right? Because our products are not cheaper. They're better, they're premium, but they're not the cheapest. We're not competing on price. And so, you know, we have strong compensation. All of that is good. But what else can we do to build a strong business in this extremely competitive environment, to retain our customers, to retain our associates, to build strong teams, and to help ourselves not burn out while we're on this path, which we know is a marathon, not a sprint? And this gets me back to the book that I was reading yesterday, and it's called Unreasonable Hospitality: The Remarkable Power of Giving People More Than They Expect. And this really stood out to me. The preface to this book, and I confess I'm only midway through the book. I have not read the whole thing, but it really spoke to me yesterday, so I'm sharing it with you today. The preface to this book is by Simon Sinek. He's a best-selling author. He's a motivational speaker. And permit me to read just a little bit. He said this. He said, "Over the last few decades, we've drifted apart. We used to do more things together. We attended church and other places of worship. We met with our friends and neighbors and met new people through bowling leagues and local rec centers. But these days, church attendance is down dramatically. Bowling leagues and rec centers have all but disappeared. And in the rise of digital communications, social media, and the increased demand for remote work, we are left feeling lonelier and more apart than at any other time in recent history." yet our intense desire to feel a sense of belonging remains. It's an innate human need. And that's where unreasonable hospitality comes in. So, on the surface, this is a book about a talented entrepreneur in the restaurant industry who took a middling restaurant and turned it into the top restaurant in the world. And the way they did it, what they figured out, was to focus on what they called unreasonable hospitality. And Simon Sinek goes on to say this book is much more about a restaurant. It's about how to treat people. And that's what I think we really need to focus on in RAIN. Treating people better than they expect to be treated. So how to listen, how to be curious, how to learn to love the feeling of making others feel welcome. It's a book about how to make people feel like they belong. The lessons in this book, this is still Simon Sinek says, the lessons in this book have as much relevance to real estate agents and insurance brokers, even government agencies, as they do for people who work in restaurants and hotels. And this is Laura. Now, I would argue that we in this RAIN business are fundamentally in the people relationship business. And we will increase our competitive edge if we realize and utilize that strength. So these are not new ideas to me, by the way. This is the way we have always tried, my husband and I, to build our business, is by kind of exceeding people's expectations, right? Not only in terms of the quality of care that we give them, but the attention that we give them, the welcoming that we try and give them, the fact that we truly do care about them as human beings. And I encourage each and every one of us to really keep that in mind as we build our RAIN businesses. The crux of the message of this book is that, quote, the human desire to be taken care of never goes away. So what if we, in our businesses, in addition to using the tools and the systems, and in addition to having superior products, add the magic sauce of helping people truly feel like they belong, truly welcoming them as our customers and our associates, giving people more than they expect, more than an ID number like mine is number 134239, you know, really seeing the person, really listening to the person, really figuring out what's missing and how what we have to offer can be a solution for them as a human being that we care about. You know, if we truly focus on being curious and listening to who people are as people and serving them, would we have a lower likelihood of burning out and moving on ourselves? You know, what if people truly feel part of a community that has purpose and passion and service, in addition to a compensation plan and great products? Would they stay longer? Would they feel more connected? Is that meeting a need that may be missing in this somewhat dissociated world that we live in? And when we build our businesses remotely, as many of us do, I think we have to pay more careful attention to these kinds of things. It's so easy to just send out the videos. It's so easy to think that people should just do what they're supposed to do if they follow the system and they'll be successful. So I think that we have to face the reality that not every single person is going to become a multi-millionaire in this business. And so the finances are not going to be the glue that necessarily holds everybody together. But what we do need, what we all need, is to feel a part of something that matters. We need to feel like we matter, and we need to treat our potential customers, our existing customers, our associates. In fact, we need to treat people like they really matter, and we need to mean it. We don't need to just treat people that way. So I do not want to suggest that we should bend over backwards and do everything for people. We want to teach people to fish, right? Rather than give them fish. We don't, we don't want to burn ourselves out by being the only one who's always doing things for people. That's not what I'm trying to talk about. But I think there's something that we don't focus on as much as we might, and that is this people concept. So just a couple of more takeaways because we're running out of time. One of the beautiful, I love this message in the book. They say, what's the difference between service and hospitality? Interesting question. And this guy describes in the book how he was interviewing a potential employee, and he asked that question: what is the difference between service and hospitality? And the person said, service is black and white, and hospitality is color. And I love that because black and white means getting the right plate to the right person on time in the restaurant business. In our business, it might be getting the video to the right person. It might be sending out an email, inviting them to something. It might be, it's doing the pieces that we need to do efficiently and competently. What is hospitality? Hospitality, they say, is technicolor. It's being the person who's listening. It's being there for them. It's caring who they are and who their family is. It's relationships, and it is relationships, I believe, that are going to keep people in this business and that are going to keep you and me from burning out, because it's a give and get kind of concept. So they also describe, and when they were putting out this message of unreasonable hospitality, people were saying this is unreasonable, and they were saying, yeah, but unreasonable is what changes the world. If you just do things the same way everybody has always done them, you don't change the world. Walt Disney didn't change the world by being reasonable. Serena Williams didn't change the world by being reasonable. Steve Jobs didn't change the world by being reasonable. So what can we learn, and how can we sort of layer that on top of everything else we do? How can we as leaders set high expectations to serve people exceptionally as we build our businesses? How do we create a culture of collaboration? How do we, they talk about the best way to learn is to teach. That's what these North American Leadership Academies is all about, is giving people the opportunity to become presenters, to teach others. That's how we all learn. And when we do these things, we reinforce these same messages for ourselves. Keep the team engaged at all costs. Serve what you want to receive, because if you want to have a satisfying business where you feel fulfilled as a person, in addition to the money that comes along with it and the physical health, give people more than they expect, and you will in turn get more than you expect. So that is my message for tonight. I don't know if it will have resonated with you or not, but it certainly did for me. If you are a guest, I encourage you to get back to the person who invited you to listen to this presentation tonight. Get your questions answered. There are no silly questions. We want you to get your questions answered. So get back to the person who invited you to listen in. If you're a RAIN associate, take in everything you've learned tonight, integrate it into your business. I think you will see rewards when you understand the products better, when you've heard Rebel's beautiful way of expressing these concepts of leverage, when you've seen the variety of different people for whom RAIN is appropriate, because in our opinion, everybody who has a pulse deserves to hear about these products and this company, and make it a great week ahead, because together, and only together, can we make it rain. These are seeds that need to be spread, and we're delighted that you've decided to join us this evening. So best wishes and good night to all.